Hello everyone, Dr. S here, and today I'm going to talk to you about goal setting for your plans of action. So this isn't about the entire plan of action, but it's actually about the goals themselves that you're setting, that you're trying to achieve. All right, doing this, we're going to use an acronym called AIM SMART. And a special thank you to the Institute for Professional Education and Coaching for the AIM component that has been added in here, which is newer for me and our program. So let's jump in and check it out. But we're going to first start with SMART. SMART is something that many people have heard about. There's lots of different ways that this has been interpreted and talked about in terms of what actually SMART stands for, and we're going to talk about what we use in our program. So the S stands for specific. Is the goal specific enough so that you can actually move toward it? And a good test for this is, can you name the first step toward moving in that direction of that goal? If you can't name the first step, then it's possible that that goal is actually not specific enough to where you could actually achieve it. The second one is measurable. And when we talk about measurable, we want to know, can we monitor progress? And can we tell if it's actually complete? Sometimes goals will be set and you kind of do it and it's done, right? But most times in a plan of action especially, a goal is going to be set and there's going to be multiple steps along the way that you're going to need to do, action steps, in order to achieve it. And so you would want to be able to measure progress as well as whether it has been completed. The A stands for accountable. It's really important in a plan of action and when you're setting goals is to identify who's accountable for actually achieving the goal. And it's best to name a specific person. Now, it's possible this goal is so big that there's lots of sub-goals and so on, and that the team is responsible for the goal, fine. But it's really critical that all the sub-steps and all the sub-goals, that specific people are named so that they can be held accountable, else it gets lost in the mix of different people being involved. The next is realistic with reach. And I'm going to go ahead and skip this one for now because that's where the aim part comes in. So I'm going to hold on for that. And the last one here for SMART is it time bound or time oriented. This is really critical because what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to set dates for when things are going to get done, by when this goal is going to be accomplished. And it's really good as well for all goals that are set is to establish when that first step will start and when that first step might be completed. And for the overall goal, when is it going to start with that first step and be completed? So that's SMART: specific, measurable, accountable, realistic with reach, and time bound. Now, let's go ahead and work a little bit more on this realistic with reach. What does that mean? Well, what that means is that we're trying to achieve goals that you can actually get done, but they're stretching you. They're making you reach, and that's where the aim comes in. And there's kind of a process that you can go through with your team or yourself to establish this. First, it starts out with asking yourself, what is the acceptable minimum that you could achieve with this goal? Like, what's the acceptable minimum goal that you could set? The next one is the ideal maximum. So if you're setting goals inside your plan of action, you could say, okay, what's the minimum that we would accept as being okay? And that probably wouldn't stretch you very far. Then there is the ideal maximum. Like if we did everything possible, threw all the bells and whistles and went way beyond expectations, went further than anyone else has ever gone, that's the ideal maximum. The way that you get this realistic with reach stretch is that you look for the middle ground. What between that ideal maximum, which probably is really difficult to actually achieve, and the acceptable minimum, which is actually not stretching yourselves at all, what is the middle ground where you can find a realistic and reasonable stretch goal. So you might say that our acceptable minimum is an A, and you say, well, what's the minimum we could do to get an A? Well, that wouldn't necessarily stretch you very much in your learning, etc. The ideal maximum might be we throw everything in, and the middle might be, okay, here are the things that we're going to do in order to achieve this particular goal that we have as a team. All right, that's the basics of it. Now it's time to put it into practice. Let us know if you have any questions.